I'm going to show how to make this motion blur effect using Affinity Photo's procedural texture filter. I got the idea for this effect from a YouTube called 5 Awesome Procedural Texturing Tricks by CG Masters. I'll put a link to that video in the description for this video. That one was focusing on Blender, but I thought I would try applying it to Affinity Photo. And I couldn't really get the same effect that they created in Blender, but I did come up with this effect, which was sort of completely different. Anyway, I thought it looked really cool, and it almost looks like paintbrush, maybe some dry brushing that's been painted on here. And you know, sometimes I'm trying to get a nice, really nice looking texture, but other times I'm going to just totally mess it up, right? So this is one of those where it just totally messes up your pattern. Another benefit of this is that it's really easy to do. To get started, I'll start with a new document. I'll change it to 1024 by 1024 pixels and make sure it's in RGB mode. I'll fill that with black and add a new live procedural texture filter. I'll add a single equation, assign it to all 3 channels. I'll add a single custom input A. I'll call that scale. Set that up to 4. I'm going to be using Perlin noise, so I'm going to add a control for that one called S, and I'm going to set that, I'll call that smooth. Set that to about 0.5. I'll put in the octaves as just a number. I'm going to add 2 more sliders. I'll call this one IX, and for noise in the X direction, and then I'll call this one IY in case I want to add some noise in the Y direction. To create this effect, I'm just going to add noise to the coordinate system so it affects both the X and the Y coordinates. To get started, I'm going to start with VAR. I'll start with a V0, which is a vec2 of Rx, Ry times A divided by W. There's my coordinate system. I'm going to create my modulated coordinate system V equals vec2 of V0 dot X plus IX times noise H of Y and V0 dot Y plus IY times noise H of X, like that. Okay, I can bring these down, and now I can control the amount of noise affecting the X and the amount of noise affecting the Y. Now I'm going to add this to a pattern, and I'll just use perlincubic of V, 10, S. So 10 is the octaves, S is the smoothness factor, like that. So instead of my regular, here's my regular Perlin noise, and then I can add sort of this motion blur effect, which distorts the X or the Y components. Just give it a bunch of zigzags like that. To make this look a little cooler, I will add a gradient map on top of this, and I just thought this one looked sort of good. Notice that I'm going directly to the pixel level so that every pixel will have a different value of noise added to it. Now I could change from perlincubic into, say, an oscillator just to see what that looks like, and I'll just take out this other stuff. So there's a regular oscillator. You can turn these off, and just a little bit of blur or a lot of blur. Just completely trash it out. And then I could change this to say an oscillator I, which is the checkerboard pattern, like that. Gives you something like that. Or nice and fuzzy. I haven't experimented with this one too much, but I could see, some ideas might be to put an angle on it, or try it with a different coordinate system, or try it with some other patterns, and see what you come up with. So please comment on anything you come up with this, or any of my other patterns and procedural textures, and let me know if you have any other comments or questions, and thanks for watching.